again for Street Rod Nationals. Right. Welcome to one of Louisville's most anticipated annual summertime traditions. I'm thrilled to be here with all of you to celebrate 53 years of Street Rod Nationals, but not only 53 years for the organization, but 28 years here in Louisville, Kentucky. That's fantastic. 25th consecutive year with us. Louisville Tourism is appreciative of National Street Rod's commitment to our city and are happy to share that they are assigned to return to Louisville through 2025. Thank you for that. But certainly we hope to see them for many more years. Hosting Street Rod's Nationals makes us a very significant impact to our economy, to the tune of $17 million in economic impact. And we're happy to welcome let me get my notes right. We're very happy to welcome back even more attendees this year and are appreciative that they have stuck with us through a couple of our pandemic years. As we all know, it was pretty thin, but you guys did show up for us, and we appreciate that. Louisville's proud to have the opportunity to host Street Rod Nationals as they are recognized as the world's largest automotive participation event with over 10,000 vintage cars on display. Matter of fact, did you know that the total value of the vehicles attending will be more than $350 million? That makes this a very valuable parking lot at the Kentucky Exposition Center. Very valuable. So as one of the many locals that look forward to the brightly colored cars around Louisville streets, I encourage our community to head out to the show to see this event for themselves this weekend. The show runs from Thursday through Sunday. So next, I have the pleasure to welcome Mayor Greg FISCHER, who I know also looks forward to this summertime tradition as much as we do. He truly understands how large of an impact hosting the Street Rods Nationals is to our city and has been a supporter of the tourism industry over his 3 terms as mayor. Mayor FISCHER, I want to welcome you to the podium.
Thank you, CLEO. I want to thank CLEO and the entire Louisville tourism team. I see we got a lot of you all here today for not only helping out with this show here, but the amazing job that you guys are doing day in and day out. It's wonderful to see tourism back to the 2019 levels, and it's going to soon be going beyond that. It wouldn't have happened without your all's great team. So thank you to the Louisville tourism team. Let's hear it for you guys. So let's think about the kind of the cultural significance of this show to America. So let's go back to the dawn of the space race in the early 1960s, when America had a fresh class of newfound heroes known as the Mercury 7 astronauts. So these were test pilots that turned to astronauts. They had their pick of cars to lease from a dealership that was close to Cape Canaveral. So if you're an astronaut and you're in the spotlight, Reagan, you think, what kind of car are you going to select? Any car you could want. Well, most chose classic Corvettes with 4 on the floor, starting with Alan Shepard, the first human in space, and following through with some Apollo astronauts. One of the 7, Gus Grissom, and Gus was just right up the road here from Mitchell, Indiana. He chose a Vet, but he tricked his out with wide magnesium wheels and fender flares to make room for those wheels. So the humans that were training to fly atop rockets in space chose what became really classic muscle cars for the United States, and they chose them for their rides here on Earth. So I think this set a really interesting tone for the country and where we were. Now, we also had a famous astronaut, John Glenn, who went on to become a U.S. Senator. You could say that he was more practical. He was a family man, so you know what he chose? Station wagon. Okay, so he had passed by the muscle car stage, apparently. But so for our purposes here today, so many classic cars, pre-1949, modernized vintage vehicles, as well as high horsepower machines, the muscle cars from the 50s, the 60s, 70s, and 80s are still really unique experiences, either to drive or to view. And they and others are what fuel the continued popularity of the National Street Rod Association and its annual Street Rod National Conference that's held here in our great city and that people look forward to each and every summer, not just from here, but from all over the world. As CLEO said, we've had 53 annual nationals in the life of NSRA, and we've hosted the majority of those, over half of them, 28. And so they're back this week, and you can obviously tell this is not a low-key entrance into the city when the street rods come here. You're looking like in your rearview mirror and say, what is that? Or you're standing by on the sidewalk and you say, well, look at that. What is going on in our city? And obviously everybody says the street rods are back. And what's fun is, you know, you're going to be seeing them more and more as the weekend progresses, and it's just great to be able to sit out and see a bit of our history and people having fun with their cars and having just a great, great time in our city. So we're really grateful to have this in our city. I want to thank all the Street Rods team for what you guys have done for us, you continue to do with us, and the great, great mentality and vibration you bring to our city. So think about this. 10,000 cars are going to be here. We'll draw up to 30,000 attendees. Going to be a $17 million economic impact to the city. So it's just good in so many different ways. And the fun part of it is, as I said, these cars are just really cool. I don't know anybody that looks at them and just say, man, I want to get in that car and see what's going on, or I want to drive that car. So it's just an out-of-body experience that people really, really enjoy. And it also connects us. It is just so great to have our conventions back in play with people coming from all over the world. They'll say, well, I haven't seen you for a while. It's like, well, no kidding. We haven't seen anybody for a while. So it's wonderful to get that connection going back with everybody as well. So we're really thrilled to host the Nationals. For the team that's here from the Nationals, obviously, we invite you to explore our city, our great food scene, our great bourbon scene. Bourbonism is alive and well and growing really fast here in Louisville. And then for everybody else, I really encourage you to get out to the Fair and Expo Center and check out these cars. Nowhere else in the world will you be able to have this kind of time as you will be in our city here over the next couple of days. So again, thanks to everybody. Thanks to Louisville Tourism for putting it together. Most importantly, thanks for the Street Rods team for once again selecting our city, and we will give you the best time of your life. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Mayor. And Mayor, thank you for everything you do for the tourism ministry. You're a real advocate. Well, now I want to bring up David Beck because we need to hear more about this $350 million parking lot that he has. David is the president of Kentucky Venues. He also loves seeing the classic cars in his backyard as the Kentucky Expo Center serves as the host site for the show. David?
Thank you, CLEO, and good morning. On behalf of Kentucky Venues, which operates and manages the Kentucky International Convention Center, just a block north of here of us, as well as the Kentucky Exposition Center south of town, we want to say welcome to our friends with the Street Rods. Isn't it wonderful? You know, being a part of this community for more than half my life, we have lots of beautiful seasons here in Louisville. We have our beautiful fall, where we have our winter. Then we have the spring, where we have all the Derby Festival activities. And then it comes August. And we all know the first week of August is Street Rod season here in Louisville, Kentucky. You know, prior to being in this role, I really enjoy seeing the cars downtown around the streets. $17 million economic impact, expected probably higher than that in our community. And where does that come from? When you drive around our community, you'll see the cars filling the restaurant parking lots. You go by the hotels, you see the cars filling the parking lots of our hotels. That's the economic activity that we see. And we're so proud of them. You know, these cars provide a wonderful opportunity of entertainment. You can see them in the parking lot, you can see them undercover in the buildings, and to walk down memory lane. They show us the tradition. They help talk about the history, reflect on our history, where we've come as a country from the automobile and where it is today, our challenges as well as our opportunity. And it's a rich tradition, not one that we take for granted, but one that we treasure. You know, for them to be here for this many years in Louisville, Kentucky, many, many cities would love to have them. We're just fortunate to have them here. I think about the planning of this event. CLEO and the mayor made reference to that. With hosting over 300 events on an annual basis at our two properties, we have opportunity, our staff team does, Kevin Moore's here, Ian Cox and others with us today, work with some of the best meeting planners in the world, not just in North America, but we have some worldwide events coming to our facilities. And I got to say this, not just because they're here, but you can't beat the planning team with the Street Rod Association. Mr. Vern Walker, which is not here this morning, Teresa Grubbs that runs the operation, Mr. Kennedy, Mr. Rowlett, and then Mr. Dennis Henry. All of those people are class people to work with, and we enjoy working with them. It's a pleasure to plan with them, even during the difficult times of COVID. Coming to the table, working out solutions so we can have the best street rod show in our community for the benefit of those that follow these vehicles and put so much investment and time into that. Let me just say how much we welcome them being here. It's excited to be here. I encourage everyone to come out and show support and enjoy seeing the vehicles for the next few days at the Kentucky Exposition Center.
Great, thank you, David. Well, in closing, we're going to bring up Jerry Kennedy with National Street Rod Association. I hope let's show him some love because, again, as we've said at the top, they've been here for 28 years, 25 years consecutively. We need to thank them and show them a little love. Jerry?
Jerry. There
you go, brother.
Thank you very much, and it's a pleasure to be up here with these distinguished gentlemen that have told you just about all of the facts and figures that you could ever imagine. And it is really nice to walk up and stand with three individuals that has the priority that they've got and be able to call them as a friend rather than Mr. Mayor and likewise. And as they have said, this is our 28th visit to Louisville with the Street Rod Nationals, my 28th visit to Louisville. It's just a good thing I was 9 when we came because I would be getting old. But at any rate, on top of everything that they have mentioned about the facts and figures, a couple things that I would like to bring to your attention is this event normally, and it's getting better now that all of this is getting behind us, represents every state of the United States and 3 to 4 countries each and every year with vehicles here. I would like to give a special thanks to the guys and gals in these vehicles behind us that have come down this morning for the parade because they are a typical example of what our sport and our hobby is all about. And we thank you guys and gals for bringing your cars down. People often say when you're talking to somebody within the media, don't these people get tired of being a mechanic and then coming out and playing with these cars every day? 9 out of 10 individuals that are in these cars have nothing to do with an automobile during the day. They're guys and gals that are professional in every term, that for a given weekend give away the jackets and ties to don blue jeans, t-shirts and tennis shoes to come out here and have a good time. First thing they want to do is show you their vehicle. The second thing when you get to talking to them is you find out what they do for a living, and it'll blow your mind. And you will see that out here. In addition to the cars that are out here, we have 1 million square feet of commercial displays that has the latest and greatest in the automotive industry, the aftermarket products and parts that you can pick up, you can look at, you can buy. There are over 150 arts and crafts booths out there for we call Women's World, a vintage parts swap meet that has over 350 vintage parts that somebody might decide to clean the garage for this weekend, and you might find that original part that you want to see. In addition, we have live entertainment out there each and every day underneath the big white tent. Once you're on the grounds, all of this stuff is for you to enjoy. We have special areas for different cars throughout the week where it'll be our Pro Picks or our under 29 Rodders, which is an area just for the kids that are 29 and under to go and display their cars. Our Super Prize program, where we will give away over $51,000 in merchandise certificates to these participants on a drawing each and every day. We have the autocross returning this year. I would encourage anybody that wants to take a quick ride to go out there to the autocross. If you're entered, you can put your vehicle in there. If not, you can ride with one of these drivers, and I'll guarantee you it's going to be about the quickest 3 minutes that you've ever spent going around this course. And it does make you feel young again in every way. To the participants and spectators alike, We feel that we've got a lot to offer, and once you come out and see what we've got, we hope you too will agree that this hobby and this sport is great. And to Louisville, Kentucky, we thank you all, one and all, for everything that you do for us each and every year, and that's why we're back and we continue to come back. So thank you very much.
All right, let's give it up one more time for Louisville. It's the 53rd Street Rod Nationals, and they've chose Louisville. Let's give it up to them one more time. We're excited. We want you here. I look forward to seeing you all out there this weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Come out. Let's have a good time. Let's show them some love here in Louisville. Thank you.